365 Simulations Gaming here, back with episode number 2, the beginning of the actual farming start. And as I was walking around, you can take a look back here. Guessing this is what you call a collectible, which these, if I'm right, these things are worth quite a bit of money. And yeah, 50,000. Anyways, let's get into the farm here. Let's go ahead and shut that. And believe it or not, I did come across another one. As you will see in the beginning, I did go ahead and change a couple of the equipment, the tractors. We go ahead and take a look at that and go through them real quick. I did go ahead and buy this this plow here, the John Deere 2410. I mean, it's got great working area with it. We go right here. It's got 16.7 meters of work area, and it makes the plowing jobs a heck of a lot easier. I did also switch out, what did I have? I had the two smaller John Deeres. I kept the big one. Two smaller John Deeres. I did get this one. I put a front loader on it. This I'm going to probably use over at the cow and the livestock area of the farm, plus as well as probably for spraying. I'm sure you can put the row crop tires on this one. Did get this, the Hardy sprayer. I did upgrade it to have 33 meters, so the most you could get for working with on that. And over this way, kept the case header for the original one that we had. I did go ahead and switch out the case combine. This is one of my favorite combines in the games. The 2588. Got the dual wheels on it. Upgraded the horsepower as much as it possibly could. I did, as you can see here. Well, hold on, let me let's go fly mode here real quick. I did try. I thought this crop was ready, but obviously I was not thinking right. When I originally looked at the map, I saw the orange, and you know that's the color for corn or corn. But if we go over here to the growth, it's not ready. So I tried to see if I could harvest this. I don't know if this combine will be able to support this big of a header, so that might be something that we're going to have to switch out here too as well. And then over this way, as you saw maybe in the beginning, I went ahead and switched out the other medium-sized, or actually the small John Deere that we had for this Kloss tractor, the 810 Axion. And then there was one other thing. Let's look here. I got rid of the corn planter. Tried to buy something new with that, but I'm gonna hold off on that because we really don't really need a corn planter per se on the farm all the time. I mean, you only use it every so often. Nope. Okay, so that's the changes I made, and that's why you can see I have a little bit more money than we started with originally. Oops. The case combine that we sold, the flow axle one, came out to be like 260 some thousand, and that's where the bulk of the money did come from, getting it back. But as I was walking around the farm, I did go ahead and find another one of these games. So here's the point. That's already 100,000 that we just collected. So I'm not sure if I'm not really good at finding those things. I mean, I just happened upon them. So if we do come across them, we'll get them. I'm not going to go searching for them. That's one thing I will not do. But anyways, so for today's episode, I want to go ahead and we're going to switch this out right here. We'll just go ahead and take that off. This combine takes forever to start. We're going to go ahead and get the wheat. I think that's what's in that field, right? Wheat. It might be oat. Nope, definitely wheat. We're going to get the wheat harvesting, because I'm pretty sure you can feed that to chickens. I think it's wheat, barley, and sorghum that you can feed to them. So then we can go ahead and start... oh, come on. Jeez. We can go ahead and start the livestock area of the farm, and we'll go ahead and get chickens put into that bin, or this place, the coop, I guess you could call it, over here. And then I want to go ahead and start harvesting or cutting the grass field, getting half of it put into hay and half of it put into silage, because from this field the wheat field, we're gonna get straw, and then that will set us up to hopefully maybe at the end of the episode get cows ready to go. But at the moment, it didn't start out with anything. Okay, good. We're gonna go ahead and go in here. Roosters, we're gonna probably add 3. So we'll go ahead and buy those. The maturities. So these ones are good to go to start reproducing. Let's go ahead and throw. Well, hold on. How much can this pen hold? Boy, that's not gonna tell me. Let's go into here. Animals, chickens. It's this one. So, geez, 250. All right, well that's good. So we'll go ahead and let's put 20 of those in there. Let's go ahead and buy those, and then we're gonna go ahead and put 30 of the non-mature, or the age 0. So then those can just go ahead and mature on their own rate. Put all those in there, and then we will go ahead and get. I mean, it's probably gonna take most of this field. I don't know if this field was. Oh boy, am I gonna be able to get through there? Fertilizer or not, but I guess we'll see here in a minute. We'll go ahead and take this. Oh crud! Can we squeeze through? No, we are not gonna be able to squeeze through that. Okay, well I guess we're gonna take the long way around. I'm not gonna go up that hill. But anyways, the first video went out. I wanted it to be a little bit of a shorter video, just kind of explaining what this series is going to be about, and kind of showing the map out and around and the layout of it. And I did, if anybody did notice, oh boy, we're not going to be able to get up this, are we? Okay, lesson learned there. Don't put the header on in the yard. I did accidentally turn comments off on the last video, but I went back in, edited it, and turned them back on. So now that we can, now that I can see your comments. So anyways, we'll get this going here. We'll sit here and talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to probably put this onto a worker. Let's make sure, let's turn this back on real quick. Make sure we got this enabled. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Now wheat I do not know much about. I know it's a very high yielding crop. In some parts of the U.S., I mean, they go miles and miles long of fields and for just wheat harvest. My first internship that I ever worked at in the ag world was with a farmer in the state of Illinois. And he is let's see here, he was a 1,800 acre farmer, row crops, corn and soybeans. And they did just start, oh shoot, I'm dropping it. They did just start, as I was there, raising pigs. I think they had like 30 pigs. I mean, it was super, super small. The son wanted to try it out and see if he could do anything with it or be successful in that field. But anyways, he went to school to be an agronomist, and he did that at Iowa State. But his dad said before he came back to work on the farm, why don't you go out and do something, go find a job, and make sure you want to be on the farm is what you actually want to do. So what he did was he was a custom combiner out, I forget kind of where, but out in the U.S., and he did wheat harvest. And he said it was one of the longest and one of the most boring things he's ever done, because you sit in the combine, so he said 3 or 4 wide, and just harvest and harvest and harvest. And he was like, they're miles long fields, just super flat ground, nothing to really look at, he said. And he's like, yeah, definitely don't want to do this. So yeah, I am, like I said in the About Me portion of my page, I am a agribusiness management graduate. I did a program where you do schooling, like you do a first semester of schooling, and then like they called it a second semester, but it was kind of like a break, and you went out for 6 weeks and you did internships. And my first internship was, I technically you could call it as a farmhand, with that farmer in Illinois. And like I said, he was Yeah, about 1,800 acres of row crops. I mean, in super big fields, um, very square fields, kind of boring. Uh, and I pretty much, basically, I got there just as harvest was getting ready to go. Not quite yet harvest time, getting to the point where they're checking the moisture in the corn. When I got there, it was probably about 20% moisture rating at that point, and he didn't like to harvest or start his harvest anywhere between like the 12 and 15 because he had a massive, like that grain bin set up over there where he had a big dryer that was set there, and they had a pit in the middle that you just dumped everything in, and it went into the dryer, and then from the dryer went into the grain bins. So he would harvest starting no more than about 15% moisture rating. If you do any more than that, then it just takes forever to dry it down, and it kind of the quality of the corn then is just not the greatest, especially when you take it into the to go sell it. That's one of the big things they look at. They look at foreign material in the crop that you bring, like sticks. Maybe if you got soybeans mixed up into it, and they look at the moisture of the crop as well, and that kind of determines what your premium is when you get paid. And when I did my interview, I actually got to ride along in they were delivering contracts to ADM down in Muscatine, which is in Iowa, to ADM, and we took 2 or 3 loads there, and it was kind of pretty cool. You drive up and show them a card of who you are, and they had 2 different drop areas. One was for kind of like, I guess you could say they had contracts that were like premium growers and people that just kind of, brought it in to get it dried down and they couldn't dry it themselves. And so he was a premium grower, so he'd bring his corn in at about 10%. He would start, that's what he would dry it down to, put it in the bin, and then they'd run fans, which would take it down to the 10%. And you'd go in, and he had his rig rigged up with cameras on the bottom of his trailer where the corn would come out of the hoppers, I guess you could call them. And you pull up under him, and we can watch him, and he just pressed buttons and opened his hoppers, and the corn dumped out. And I mean, it was pretty slick, and that was it. So basically, on that internship, I was, like I said, a farmhand, and I ran grain cart for them. I have pictures here of their whole setup. It was pretty cool. Might try to see if I can post those on the website. But I ran grain cart for them, and man, it just was huge. He ran case combine, like the Axle Flow one, but he had the bigger one. And he ran a 8-row header for corn, which I thought was pretty freaking small for his setup. But I mean, it is what it is, and you do what you do. And he had a really big, let me look at this real quick, a J&M auger wagon, and he ran Cat Challenger track tractors, the 7th series ones. Those are pretty slick tractors. So I learned a lot about kind of farmers in general on that. I mean, working with he took it over from his dad, so he would be a 2nd-generation farmer, and then his son was a 3rd-generation farmer, and his son was getting ready to take it over. So he made a lot of the big shot calls at the time, and I got to sit in on 3 or 4 decent meetings of like them meeting with their seed providers, their herbicides, their pesticides, all that kind of stuff, to kind of see how their operation goes. And then towards the end of the 6 weeks, I got to actually get into the combine and harvest some crop out. That was probably the coolest part of that whole operation there. But as you get to work with farmers, you kind of realize, farming is probably one of the most difficult and hardest jobs out there. I mean, there's so much that could go wrong, and then your year it's just based on just the little things could just turn from good to super bad. I mean, that's why there's crop insurance out there and all that kind of stuff, insurance to cover stuff, especially here in the Midwest where we live. With corn and soybeans basically being the the main crops that we grow, we experience almost every type of season, all 4 seasons, and we get some pretty harsh summers where, we'll get some big storms that come through, and, what was it, about 2 years ago, we had some super bad winds come through, like 60, 70, upwards of 60 and 70. Some places got even higher, and they called it a derecho. I don't know if anybody knows or was experienced it, but those type of winds in corn, it'll just blow those stalks right down. And in corn, there's the structure and integrity of the stalks is not very stern and not very good. I mean, and that right there can wipe out. You lose yield right there, and then those stalks drop and the ears fall off. I mean, they do make equipment like corn reels that you can attach to your headers, but that just makes it a pain in the butt. But still, going through those rows, you're going to knock a bunch of them off, and you're going to lose a lot of yield at the header, which you can call it header loss at that point. And that's just the thing with it. I mean, disease, hail is another big one that can go through the foliage of the crops and make those holes and make it susceptible to insects, disease, fungus, and that can wipe out if you don't get it taken care of in a timely manner. So that's just some of the things you learn and get to experience when you work alongside farmers, I guess you could say. And there's some of the nicest people out there. They'll take I'd say about 90 to 95% of the farmers that I've talked to, most of them will take time, just 5-10 minutes of their time, just to sit there and talk to you and explain to you, what they do and how it all happens, and for all the stuff they grow for, our country and stuff. So if you ever get a chance to talk to one or get a conversation with one, I'd highly suggest just sitting there and listening to them. You can learn quite a bit from them. And it's the ag world is a very booming place for opportunity to work, if you want to put it that way. So we're going to go ahead and put, put a worker on that, get that going, and we're going to go ahead and see. I mean, this is probably going to take way too much grain. Way too much. This probably ain't going to do a quarter of what they need. I bought a lot of them. Okay. I thought it was wheat, barley, and sorghum. Oh, sweet. There it goes. Oh, that scared me a little bit. So we'll get that put in here, and this will at least get him a kickstart to... That's all it took? What? What the heck? 5,000. Alright, cool. I guess we'll let that be. We'll probably keep a full cart of wheat, and then we'll see what happens in the leftover, and we'll probably take that to the market if the price is good. Otherwise, we'll store it and wait for the price to be right. I do have a couple a mod installed. I forget what it's called. What? Oh, I have nothing stored. That's why I forget what it's called, but this will all your goods, obviously, all the products that you have stored or you have building up. Here it'll tell you what you have. This is the name of it, like wheat. It'll tell you what you have, the current price, the value to sell at, and then the max price and value that you can get for it. So that kind of just helps you keep track of maybe watching when to sell stuff instead of going on to this and trying to figure out showing price fluctuations. It kind of keeps track for you. It's just kind of easier, basically. So we'll get them workers going. We'll go ahead and jump to this guy here, and we'll go ahead and get this started. I think, let's go ahead and jump up here real quick. I'm going to probably, when I'm done cutting this, plow this extra area up and put it down into grass. Yes, I know you can, and obviously just cut this right here, but it's not like, the quality of it. Let's put it that way. You plow this up, put the actual grass in it, fertilize it, you'll get a lot more yield out of it. So we're probably going to do that. I mean, is this just straight grass? Yes. I mean, on this, you can have alfalfa and clover. I mean, we might try doing that. I don't know if you can cut alfalfa and clover with a mower. I don't know if you have to have a forage harvester to do that, but that might be something to do. I've never done that, and it'd kind of be cool to see it happen. So we'll go ahead and, whoops, put that back down, put this down. We'll go ahead and start cutting this out. Like I said, we're going to do half in hay, half in silage, and then this way we'll be ready to go hopefully by the end of this episode for cows to get put in. Kind of want to get the livestock up and going pretty quick so that way they can start forming money, I guess you could say, for the lack of a better word at the moment, money for us, and that way we can start to get this process going. I mean, early game in Farm Simulator, it's kind of slow. I mean, you get to deal with what the map gives you at the moment. Let me see here for a second. Since I did do all that switching around, I did pause the growth on seasons. So yeah, so we can take a look at this. I just do 5-minute saves just to make sure that the game gets saved. Time scale we're gonna hold at 5. We might do a 6 depending on where we're at. Easy. Traffic keeps on. Seasonal growth. Days we're gonna try 3. If it goes too long, or if crops are starting to wither a little more, we might mess with that. Snow is on. Crop destruction's on. Periodic plowing's on. Fieldstone off. I just think it's a big waste of time, and you don't make much out of it. Lime is probably something we should have on, but I think it's just outrageous of the application rate and the amount of money you have to spend on it. I might get precision farming. That I think that's what it's called, the mod. And if I do that, it does limit the rate. And plus, you can put 2 rounds of application in one go with that fertilizer too. So I am going to leave that off. Weeds are going to stay on. And this is just the rest of the stuff. All that's obviously off. Let's turn that back on. So, like I said, I mean, I want to play this as realistic as possible, but with lime, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, yes, in the real world, I did have the opportunity to in those those internships to work at a co-op. I mean, yes, it does go on pretty thick, but it's also a variable rate application. You know, not every part of the field is going to get the same amount of application put onto it. You know what I mean? So, and in this, you can't really do that unless I do get that precision ag mod. That makes it way more realistic in that aspect. So that might be something I'll definitely look at doing that. But I just don't like how, I mean, you could fill a freaking spreader, the biggest spreader that they got on here, and it'll be gone in 2 passes. Like, no, that's not how it works at all. I mean, some parts of fields, yes, because, you know, the acidity and stuff like that needs to be balanced out. I get that. But in this game, when it just it costs way too much money to do it too, and it just drains the bank account. So I don't like that. Fieldstone, yeah, that's actually a pretty cool new thing they put into it. But at the same time, it takes a long time to do it. The machines aren't very big. Plus you don't make a lot of money for I mean, you might fill a bin up and you get $400 or $500 off of it. I mean, yes, it's money, but at the same time, I just don't think it's worth the time at this point. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this all cut up, and we will be back. Have that all figured out and done. It is time to go get this switched off. Let's get the what do you call it, the tedder. Now I do running seasons. Sometimes most of the time when I play, I kind of just play on my own. I don't like running seasons, but it's more realistic that way, because when you're doing hay, it's gonna take a little bit longer to dry. And I kind of forget at the current time if you have to ted it twice. I don't know really, and so it'd be interesting to see what it's gonna be like. Anyways, so I'm kind of the guy that kind of likes to jump around on topics to topics, but now that we're here and we're doing this, I should probably give you a little bit about myself. Um, I do come from a kind of big family, I guess you could say. There's 6 of us. Well, 4 kids and my parents. So there's 6 of us. Um, I'm the second oldest out of the 4. I have a younger brother, younger sister, older sister. My older sister is married, and she had a baby. Oh, crap. A baby, what is he, about 4 months ago now? I don't remember. But yes, I do have my first nephew, and that's been quite the ride so far. It's been very fun. He has actually been getting over some sickness already. He's been fighting some type of virus, and it hasn't been treating him very well. But anyways, my grandpa was a farmer himself back in the day in Wisconsin. Where do I want to start this at? In the state of Wisconsin, they ran back in the day. I mean, stuff was not considered really too big. I think they had like 50 head of cattle and a few hundred acres of, or if not just 100 acres of row crops. And he also was a guy. It was kind of funny. He wanted to show pigs, and his parents said okay, and they went out and bought him one, and he named it Porkers. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. If I might forget it. But he decided that he was going to take it to the market to sell for money because he thought that'd be a lot better than showing the pig. And story goes on to that he went out that night to prepare his pet pig Porkers, that he was going to take him to the market and sell him. The next day he woke up and the pig was dead. So my grandpa thinks he died of a broken heart. Kind of interesting. That's kind of the point that well, not that point. I kind of wish my grandpa kept the farm running in the family, so then I could technically be, what do you want to call it, the inheritance into farming, and it would have been probably one of the best things. Definitely one of my dream jobs would be to farm. But nowadays, it's so dang expensive to get into it just to go out and start a farm up. There's just no way you can do it without knowing hookups or, if your family got it. I mean, you could do it. It's going to cost you a ton of money to do it, but all the more power to you if you figure it out to do that way. So, yeah, that's kind of the little bit of the basics on me. Like I said, I've got a decent amount of background in the ag world, and as we go on, like when we get to the corn, I'll kind of sit there and explain the kind of the things that I know and I've experienced, kind of make it like a learning experience as well as just sit here and and play the game of Farming Simulator. I should probably, after this pass, go check on the combine. I think it's done over there. Yep, doesn't look like it's moving anymore. That's another thing we're going to have to watch is wage payments on workers. Right now we're sitting pretty good. I like this position, but, this money's going to go here pretty quick with the cows hopefully by the end here. So I want to get this road up, tedded up. We'll get that all rode up, and I don't think I have a bale wrapper. I do have a silage pit over there, though. But for purposes of doing TMR ratios, I kind of like it in the bale form than just kind of guessing by the bucket and putting it through that way. I probably will put, like the next cut in this, I'm probably thinking we're going to do just straight cut of silage, and that I'll probably put in the silage pit, let it ferment, and sell it out that way. But for feed purposes, I like it in the bale form because I know the ratio is a little bit better than some of them. It's 2-to-1, and then you can fill it with hay or silage, whatever you want to go with in that part of it. Some of them is 1-to-1-to-1, and so I just think it's a lot easier doing that. That's another thing we're gonna have to figure out here. We don't have a what do they call it? We don't have a one of these. a mixer wagon. There we go. That's another thing we're going to have to figure out here. So, yeah, thinking about that kind of stuff down the road. There's going to be some costs that are going to come out. I mean, like you said in this game, it takes money to make money. So our account's going to fluctuate big time before it can stay steady at any number. But that's the whole fun of it, to see if you can actually succeed in the task at hand. So far, the map, I think, is great. Definitely has got the Iowa feel to it. I want to try to expand as much as possible. I mean, obviously, we're not going to own the whole map, but I'd like to get fields that are kind of spread out through the map so you can take a look at the map as we go through it. So that's kind of the point and the target to go forward, moving on. So at this point, let's go ahead and stop this. Let's go over here and let's grab this. Turn this on. Let's empty this combine. Let's put this stuff back. This can start getting baled up, but I don't think you can put worker on a baler. That kind of sucks, but that's all right. I don't know. I didn't see if this was fertilized. I forgot to look at that. I definitely really have to worry about crop destruction because when I was coming in here earlier, you'll see I think I caught it, but you'll see that I kind of ran through the crop and I'm like, oh crap, crop destruction. That's not going to work. So definitely the faster we can move, the better. More stuff that we can do. Like I said, it's very slow early game, just kind of going through the motions and figuring everything out. I did get, I think it was 80% or 70% of the first trailer, and I went and dumped it just so that I just could finish it out. I don't know if this is all going to fit in here. So we'll keep definitely one full cart of feed for the chickens, and then we could probably even look that up right now. Wheat. We can look here now. See, so the price. So it's going up right now. Max price 1,022.3. Where's it at right now then? 8. I've never seen wheat get into the thousands. No. So maybe the next episode we'll probably have to look at that. If not, we'll see if we can sleep through this. We're gonna have to sleep through this day. I don't like doing much work in the dark, but if we're getting to the point where the field's on the verge of withering, or we got to get the field planted because it's gonna grow, I would definitely work through the night on that. Hopefully we got some good lighting on these tractors. So at this point we're just gonna store all that grain. That's a huge cornfield. Looking at it now, that's gonna take a while to get out. Dang. And I don't think that bigger header's that's gonna be able to support this. That could take a while. Anyways, so that is just gonna go straight cash crop. I'm not gonna cut it with a forage harvester, and no need to do that when you have a grass field, and we can get everything that way. So we're just gonna sell that as a straight cash crop, even though corn doesn't really have the best pricing wise. And so does wheat. Wheat's not very good, but that's, the hand we were dealt with when we started those two crops there. That's why the next cut I'm definitely going to do is, I got the hiccups, is silage, so we can make a little more money that way, pretty quick-wise. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to, let's go ahead and just leave this here for now. Let's go back to here. Let's get this put into the pit. 98%. So we got a little over a cart and a half. No, cart and 3/4. So I'll probably keep the 3/4 in there and sell the cart load. Yep, that's definitely what we're gonna do. Okay. At this point, we'll get this done, and we'll go back and finish up that tedding process and get the rower out and windrow that grass up, and then maybe start the baling process on the wheat field. And we should look at the seasons too. I gotta see where everything. That's terrible hump. That's gotta get fixed. I'm probably not gonna be able to fix that anyways. So let's put this in here. Let's take a look. Nope. Yep. Okay. So corn doesn't go in until about October-ish. Nothing can be planted except for canola at the point. We should probably get that field up and ready to go for canola too. Yikes. Poplar, grass. Grass is pretty much all around. Oilseed alfalfa clover. Where? That doesn't show me. Okay, let's leave this tractor here. Let's go ahead and jump back to this. Let's take a look at something real quick. Is this gonna tell me? No, it's not. I think it's got to turn like a yellow for it to be able to be hay and be able to be rode up, I think. I'm not 100%. I forget. It's been such a long time since I played seasons and that aspect of knowing when hay turns. I guess I could break the baler out and see if it's hay or not. Because I think it's got to sit here for a little bit before we can turn it. Or maybe possibly another turn of the tedder. I forget. Anyways, that's okay. That's not a big deal. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and finish up this tedding and the rowing, and we'll be back again and start the baling process. Now, it's raining. This is not good, because I'm pretty sure that definitely affects the drying process of this hay. And crapolas, that definitely puts a damper in this. We'll have to see what that does affect. I'm probably definitely gonna have to wait an in-game day just to see what the effects it takes. So then I could be 100% positive on what to do at that point. Anyways, I do have some other things planned. Like I said, I have a decent knowledge in ag. I'm not no expert, so you can quote me if you want on the things I say, but don't definitely say I'm the expert or you heard this from me and he's this type of expert guy on this type of field. No, that's not what I'm saying. But there is some things that I've definitely can definitely speak for on that point. One thing I am going to start doing is kind of at the beginning of the videos is kind of go over what's going on in the ag world in real life. Like go through like the markets, see where it's at, and then kind of explain what's going on around my area. I mean, like right now we're in February, and it's cold, snow. I mean, we just got done with a pretty big snowstorm, though the temperatures changed pretty quick. I mean, it was down in the 20s, and all of a sudden we hit 40s. That's Midwest weather for you. 1 second it can be great, the next second it can be snowing, or it could be pouring down rain like it's doing right here. I probably shouldn't do this at the moment. All right, we're gonna switch plans here, but but earlier, let's see here, just before December, we had temperatures that were like in 60s and 70s, and a lot of the people around me, I live kind of out on the outskirts of our town, and I got fields that surround me, and the farmer that does them, he's a pretty cool guy. He was out applying anhydrous ammonia, which that around here is the NH3. That is the probably the most cheapest form of nitrogen that we've got. Oh, no. That is available to farmers, and that's why most of them use it. But it is a highly, highly dangerous chemical to apply. Super big inhalation hazard. I mean, it's the type of stuff, and I did also work with that around the company that I did the internship with was called AgVantage, AgVantage. Turn on. OR. AgVantage FS, so it's Agricultural Farm Service. Come on, company. What the heck is going on here? Thank you. So yeah, I do have super strength and fly mode, as you can tell. I'm not going to try to use super strength that much. That's the type of reasons why I have it, is that, something gets turned over, flipped, or something gets stuck. But anyways, back to anhydrous ammonia. Uh-oh. Crash. Nope. It's a very, very dangerous product. It is when it's applied, it's a gas form, but when it's in the tanks, it's a liquid form. And it like condenses with oxygen, right? And the only way to kind of cancel it out is water, right? So if you inhale it, it sucks out all that oxygen in your lungs and all that good stuff you need to stay alive, and it takes effects super quick. Also, if you touch it, it burns you really bad. You get it in your eyes. I've seen pictures they have to go through safety trainings and whatnot. people that have got it in their eyes and they kind of swell it, like they shrivel up like you're in a pool, to kind of like raisins, and that you're pretty much done said for at that point. Um, so when you're like filling these tanks, they keep a kind of like a wind cone, and so you know that if because you have to bleed them off to get the pressure out of the hose when you're done disconnecting them, and to do that you want to know where the wind is so you can be downwind from it, so it's blowing away from you. So they do that for type of like kind of like safety precautions, and they also keep these big totes of water by. If you ever come in contact with it, or if you happen to get a spill, you submerge yourself in that water and hope to God that it all goes away before anything gets worse. So that's kind of what was going on before it got super super cold, and now there's absolutely no field activity as you would. Let's turn on automatic, as you would assume in the wintertime. But as soon as the temperatures get going up and the ground comes to not the freezing point anymore, they'll get back out there and they'll do their their tillage, or their cultivations, or their plowings. Sometimes, I mean, the farmer that is around here, he got in and did his field cultivating work as the combine was going through, pretty much. And he's not the guy that puts down a cover crop. I mean, that's another option. Let's go ahead and sleep here, actually. That's another option people can do, is cover crop, like alfalfa, clover, grass, stuff like that. You can put down as the legumes, and they provide a nitrogen form or an application too as well. When you till that back into the ground, it becomes a natural form of fertilizer for your crops next year. So yeah, he was going through almost right behind the combine. As soon as that combine got out of the field, he was coming through with his tractor and his field cultivator bar. How's over here? So he got some of that done. He also I think he might have livestock, so he also did cut his corn stalks up and bale those. That's another thing I kind of don't agree with, in aspects of, I understand if you have livestock, you cut your corn stalks obviously for feed. I do understand that. But you also learn that another big thing is no-till around here, which leaves those roots in the soil all intact, kind of like grape nuts, which provides, again, another kind of natural form of fertilization in those stalks, and those bean stubbles that hold those nutrients are still there, and then you plant next to them, or you plant into that, and those nutrients are still held in there. Granted, and provided that you don't have no leaching or denitrification kind of a process happening in your field, or if you have a bad drainage field as well. Oh, look at that. Does that mean this cornfield's going to have weeds in it? Oh, thank God. Wrong page. It doesn't, but it's got no fertilizer. Crap. Alright, another change of plan. Here. Shoot. I should have looked at that at the beginning. But I don't know if... Yeah, no. No. We're going to have to run a sprayer to do that. You can't take a tractor and a pull-behind spray bar through this. Oh, no. Only a 38% yield bonus. Well, that puts a damper on that. And corn's a very high-yielding crop. How much is this to lease? Jeez, 13 grand just to lease that. 24 grand. No. Hold on 1 second. I'm not going to mess with anything on this, I promise you that. Hold on. I'm just looking at something real quick here. That's not what I'm even looking for, so go ahead and get out of there. Oh boy, and we need to have at least one round of application on that field just to make it worthwhile, so we're going to have to go ahead and lease this. We don't have any, like, bins full of fertilizer, do we? What was over here, actually? Hold on. I thought I saw some stuff over here that might have had fertilizer and stuff in it. Nope. Alright, no tanks, no nothing I can fill. Crud. Are these? No, okay. Those are decorative. Okay. Crud. Alright, we gotta get here. Let's go ahead and buy... this is gonna take a while to freaking fertilize, too. That's the other thing. See, money's gonna go way by. Quick. Should have thought about that, but that crop was already that height when you loaded into the game, so there's not much you could do besides plow it up and restart, but no, I don't want to do that. I could probably put this on a worker, and we can probably go ahead and get that field baled and maybe possibly start planting into that, because we're going to need to, we're really going to need to turn fields quick at this point. Like I said, you can put canola in, and that's a big cash crop right now. Canola is always good price-wise. Oh, wait, I slept. Ooh. See, yeah, it's not going to get in the thousands. Which one is it telling me to sell to? Wheat, sell to Jackson's Farm. Jackson's Farm, 889, yeah, well, obviously, Austin. Show, oh, no, go back. Jackson's Farm. Tag place. Thank you. Gosh, dang. Alright, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? What the heck? Did I not tag it? Jackson's Farm, where you at? Oh, down over here. God dang. Alright, let's fill this up. Okay, we gotta get this back to the farm ASAP. Ah, boy. Like I said, that really sucks. Anyways, I was talking about how a lot of the farmers back here, kind of up in our northern counties where it's kind of a little more steep hills, not like mountainous or really big hills, but steeper hills. And that's a recipe for bleaching, right? Rain gets onto the field, and your nutrients you put in, and it rains and it seeps away off of runoff. Like, runoff and leaching away nutrients, denitrification when that it doesn't take, and it evaporates into the air. So they're going to a kind of like a form of kind of sort of like no-till, but it's like a strip till. It's a very, very invasive kind of form of tillage where you look at that. I got kind of a special feature on it, and you can see puddles forming way out in there. It's so it's like very invasive, like I said. So you go through, and you kind of what it kind of is like a 2x2. So you're putting it 2 inches down and 2 inches over to where your furrow is going to be when you plant. Some people will plant right on top of it, and some people, obviously, like you see these planters, will plant with their nitrogen or their first form of fertilizer in furrow with their planter. So as the planter goes through the ground, they're spitting out variable rates of nitrogen to put, or fertilizer to put into it in furrow. So it's like these strip till bars kind of look like a plow. They got the vertical knives on them, and they got hoses that come off the back of them, and they go into the ground. See, I don't even know if this is a good idea. Is this gonna even? Oh boy. See, this is not what to do. I don't even think like the Haggis sprayers nowadays could get through this, or would even get through this. You're kind of SOL at this point when you're this late into the game. I mean, you're already knocking your corn over. So for purposes of just getting some nitrogen on the ground, we're going to say this is okay to do. We're going to go ahead and do this one pass here, and then we're going to set it out on a worker so we can continue going on and get this farm into the go mode. But yeah, anyway, so they like in the farm I worked at, that's what they did, was the strip till. And after we went out, they had a guy after they got harvested would go pretty much straight in, like I said, the guy did with his cultivating bar, and would apply this strip till method to the ground, and it barely looks. I mean, it rips the ground, but you can barely tell that it's ripping the ground. And so that's kind of a form of things they do. Some people would do absolutely no till, which that means they're not running anything through it. Is this worker gonna do it? Okay, cool, sweet. They're not running any type of tillage bar through it. No field cultivator, no plows, no vertical tillage, nothing. And then at that point, you're leaving all of your, you're just leaving. Oh, God, come on. You're leaving everything intact, and all your stuff is like nutrients are held there. Some people will obviously take a field cultivator through it until those stalks break them up and put them back into the ground, which is still another good. I mean, it's fine, it works, but at the same time, you're ripping the ground open, and anything that's held in the soil is now denitrifying or evaporating or getting brought up to the topsoil, which can make it susceptible to things like leaching and all that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of things that you can start looking for, and when you're driving by and all that kind of stuff, and you might be able to say, oh, hey, that's what that is, I think. All right, so oh, nice, I missed that. So I'm gonna go ahead and bail this up, and then I'm gonna come back to I think I'm gonna go ahead and just plant into this field right away. All right, I will see you guys in a minute. Coming up on the last swath and a half of this field, and surprisingly, it's doing a lot better than I thought. This will be a dang good start to our straw collection for our cows and getting them started off on the right foot. So what we'll do here is we'll get this last one done. Ooh, dang. We'll get this last one done. Jeez, excuse me. Get this last one done, and then we will go ahead and get them all picked up. We've got an auto stacker over there. We'll get them picked up, put in somewhere that I pick, I guess, close enough to the barn and easy accessible that we can mix TMRs when needed. Another thing here, just kind of looking through while I was sitting here doing this, looking at it, doesn't this not look like just a real farm workhorse of a tractor? Old style, big wheels on them, big dualies. Just makes me start to think of what is your guys' go-to setup when you start fresh on a new map, just logging in and looking at the tractors and the equipment that they give you, and you're like, I don't like this. What is your go-to setup that you guys like to pick out from like tractors, brands, any of that kind of stuff? Another one is what is your favorite tractor in the game? I don't know if I really have an absolute favorite tractor in this game. I think I would have to go with the John Deere 9R, not the track one, not the 9RX, the 9R with the duals on them, the fatter duals on them. I think that's my favorite tractor. I think it's a cool looking tractor. Definitely got the horsepower that you need for just about anything. Hopefully we can get one of them on this farm here. That'd be really cool, and that we definitely made it. Another thing I'm going to take a look at here once we finish this up, I hate trying to time that out, is the used sales market. That's going to definitely be our friend here on this map until we get like comfortable enough to be like, screw it, we can buy it. We'll just go ahead and buy it. So that is now all done. The cornfield, surprisingly, the worker did everything 100%, didn't miss a dang thing, which is very surprising. Did go ahead and sell that off, or return that back. Another thing is we did make 19,602, as you've seen in the video, from selling one of them, one of the grain carts full of wheat. So that was a good sell back. Made a little bit there. Let's see here, 369. That would have been. We're still a little bit not even with renting that sprayer and the fertilizer we had to buy. But eventually we're gonna have to buy the fertilizer anyway. So technically we did make almost 6 grand back of a profit off of that without renting, or even with renting the sprayer there. So let's go ahead and get this put back over this way. Grab that auto stacker. Another thing I would like, I know that was making me think about that when I was doing that. Like in real life, they got the futures market where you can go in and you can hedge your contracts and figure out when the price is going to be right, what to sell, how much to sell, all that kind of stuff. That would be pretty cool thing if they could put that into this game. I mean, I know you got like a market and you can see the fluctuations, when to sell, all that stuff. But if you could go in and do like a futures contract and hedge in the market, that would be pretty cool. Be like, okay, I'm selling September corn or whatever. I just probably shouldn't have said that, but whatever. You know what I mean? And this much at this price. That would be pretty cool if they could put that into the game. That I wouldn't think that would be something that wouldn't be that hard. I guess you could say. I mean, just a couple. Actually, I don't even know. I probably shouldn't say that hard. It might definitely have some work behind it. I think we're gonna leave that field for next episode to start it out. Go ahead and finish that up. I think we're gonna bail this up, and we're not gonna be able to get to the cows today, just because the fact that that hayfield got kind of messed up and plants got switched around. So I think we're gonna go ahead and pick these up, call that an episode for today, and go ahead and get started right into that the hay and grass field. Are you serious? I was about to say, this thing's got plenty of power to pull this. Yeah, and then wow, it's freaking out on me here. And then we'll go ahead and start with that. I did want to take a look at this. 35 bales off this field. That's pretty damn good. I will take that every day. Obviously, this was not even an ounce of fertilizer. Otherwise, we probably would have got way freaking more. Maybe double that off of this. So, I mean, it is what it is. We got a good start to this. And then after that, we'll definitely get this. I should look at that. Nope. This one. So we've got canola. We've got all the way up till the end of October to go ahead and plant that in. So we'll definitely do that in this field. That field's going to become ready to harvest about that time, the corn over there. So let's hope that would all be perfect, actually. And then hopefully we can make some money off that corn crop. Hopefully the prices come to be better at that point. Go ahead and sell some of that off. Actually, probably the majority of it off. And probably start to look at building or getting a new field, or maybe putting some sheep in or something like that. We can probably. I'm still not on board with running pigs. I just don't understand. I just don't get them. I mean, it's probably the point that I do and I don't. It's probably the point that the fact that, I mean, it's kind of like probably your Angus when you got cows. They, you feed them up and they gradually get better, or gradually become more marketable as they get fed and whatnot. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess that's probably what that is for. Actually, I want to look at that one more time. I keep taking breaks out of this. Animals. Cows. We got this. 240. Dear God. And pigs. 540. Yeah, we should just sell that. But you gotta let me know. If we don't do pigs and I sell that, is that cheating? Because, I mean, that's $170,000 right there. But we could then, at that point, go ahead and put in... only 25? I can go ahead and put this in. 65 freaking sheep. Yeah, go ahead and put a large sheep enclosure in there. Pasture in there. And run those. I mean, there's a... Jesus, this tractor is struggling. And then that would be pretty good. I mean, talk about the freaking wool that you can get off of that. What are it even? See? I have to keep going back and forth, back and forth. Cotton might be another one that we might want to run for a field or two because that would be pretty dang good. Wool. Decent pricing. So, yeah, that would probably be something good to look at. I'm just not fond of pigs in this game and in general. Pigs are very, I don't know, harsh. They eat about anything and everything you feed them. Don't matter what it is. Throw anything in there, they'll freaking eat it. But at the same time, a disease goes through their confinement. That whole barn's probably getting wiped out. That's just how that goes. I like the cows. Cows are a good money maker in this game. What am I doing? Forgetting stuff everywhere. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be the plan from here on out. Go ahead and finish getting these put away, and we're going to go ahead and call this a wrap. And actually, I should probably say, do you guys like how I'm doing this? Like, start in on the project, kind of talk a little bit about it, and then kind of, get done, come back. Or do you guys want to just keep the gameplay going? You wanted to see it go all the way through. Let me know about that too as well. And yeah, so great first day to this farm. We got a lot going on, a lot getting done, and bigger, brighter things coming forward. Thank you guys, and please hit the like or subscribe. I know that's kind of hard to say, or kind of hard to ask at this point, but it's the beginning. Want to get it started off pretty good. So feel free to hit the like, subscribe, hit the dislike, comment, whatever, comment concerns. And you guys have a good one.